Thank you, Jamie. That was amazing. And I think one of the lines that stuck with me at the beginning was hospitality. It's not about warmth, right? It's about awareness. And I thought that was super powerful. And it makes me think, you know, I'm on the hospitality side with vacation rentals, and I'm always trying to think, what's like the one, you know, what's the one big thing we're going to do that's just going to wow guests? But I think what stuck with me too is it's all the small things, right? It's how you dress, it's how you appear to them the first time, it's how you communicate, whether that's email, that's phone, how aware you are, how attentive you are. It's all the small things that add up. And if I think about the best hospitable experiences I've ever had, it is all the small things. It's a collection of the little things. So that was fantastic.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Really good job. We're going to do a little Q&A. So Bart is going to walk around with the mic. If you guys just want to raise your hands, we will come to you with the mic, and Jamie will answer your questions.
We got one right here. We got first up.
How do you know you're hiring the right people?
So, that's a good question. Thank you. So, with me, obviously, you know, when you have your standards set very high, it's not for everyone. A lot of my staff, they like working in a very structured environment. So, usually when we hire people, there's certain things that I look for. I just look for good communication skills. You know, when I've had eye contact, but not eye contact in a way, I just want them to feel like they're comfortable in talking to me. I listen to what they say about their previous jobs, why they didn't like it, why they left. I like to hear things like, I want to learn new things, I want to expand my horizon, I want to work in a more structured environment. I've been here and I see how you work and how your employees work together as a team, and I like that. So I just try to talk to them in a way that I get to see if we align in our expectations of what service should be like. Especially this time, nowadays, when I go out to eat sometimes, I do feel like the guest experience is very lackluster. So when people come into my restaurant, I want them to feel like very taken care of. It's very important to me. From the first minute they walk through the door, I always tell my host, you need to be standing at the door. They should not be waiting for someone to greet them. So when I interview and when I talk to people, when they first get started, we try to speak to them. We try to make them understand that in order to join this team, they need to be aware of all these things. And usually during the interview process, after I talk to them for a few moments, I can kind of decide if they have they're on the same wavelength with me, or if maybe it's not the right choice for our restaurant. And I don't always get it right, but if most of the time I feel like it's pretty good. I do pretty well. You know, you can never 100%, but that's for me. That's why I always make sure the staff knows. And since, you know, when they come in, they see right away, the managers are there. They're very on hand. They're very hands-on. And they see that they're working with a team and that they're going to be supported while they're there. So we don't have a lot of turnover in our restaurants, and it's because of how we manage the restaurant, the staff, and the guest experience, and I think it all ties in together.
That's great.
Thank you.
Run over there, Bart. Run.
Run. Almost 15.
There we go.
So you seem like you're very dedicated to the craft and to the industry or to the restaurant. I guess the question is, having a son that's autistic and having the family at the restaurant, how do you kind of balance out that work-life relationship to where you don't feel bad for not being at the restaurant when customers come in, or you don't feel bad for not being home for your son when you are at the restaurant 24/7?
I've had a lot of soul searching with this, because when my son was younger, I felt like I spent every weekend working, and he was always with the sitter or wherever he was. So it did take a toll on me after a while that I was spending more time with my staff than my son. So in the recent years, I have made a change, and I've had to let go of control a little bit and try to empower my staff, my general managers, make sure they understood what it meant to have a family with autism come in, to make sure that if they did come in, I would not need to be there to guide them through the process. A lot of our families that do have autism come in every year when they come, and every once in a while we have someone that walks in and they didn't even know what we stood for, and they happen to see it in the menu. But for me, the biggest thing is making sure my staff understood understands what it means. And even when you say we're autism friendly, it's very simple steps. When they come in, the family, they don't want to make a scene. They don't want anyone upset with them that they're cutting the line, but they might go tell the host, I have a son, I have a daughter, I have a person with autism. The host right away knows, okay, they go to the top of the list. They go tell the manager, we have a family with autism in the house. The manager knows right away, they seat them. As soon as the manager goes over, greets them, let us know if you need anything. We have noise canceling headphones if it's too loud in here. If the family needs to bring in McDonald's because that's all the child wants to eat, we allow that too. My managers and my staff knows that I do not have a problem with that. I want the whole family to enjoy it, and one person not eating my food is not going to hurt my feelings. So, so that's, I think, the biggest part is making sure they were trained enough to where I don't feel like I have to be there, because I can't, we have 3 restaurants and I can't even be in all 3 places at once, even if I wanted to. And as far as my son at home, he has gotten old enough now that he loves coming to Johnny D's. So he does come with me some weekends, but most of the times now on the weekends, I do spend a lot more time with him, and it makes me very happy inside, because I grew up with my parents working all the time, and I wanted to do something different for him. But my biggest thing I had to learn was to let go of control, and I hired these people, and I've been working with them, and I trust them, so I need to trust them to do their job when I'm not there, and they do, because they respect me and I respect them, so I think that helps a lot too. Thank you.
It's right down here.
Be in the front row.
Wonderful, wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
Brought tears to my eyes. Really enjoyed it. I like legacy. And your father must have been an extraordinary restaurateur in New York. I was just curious if he was the start of the love of hospitality and food, which I love food, and hospitality now. Or does that extend beyond your father into your family? Is there a legacy behind it? Or did your father kind of have his own passion in getting you started out?
That's where one of the things I'm like, I don't understand where he learned, because his father was a taxi driver and his mother didn't work. So she took care of the kids. So when my father, he started working in the cruise ships when he was 16 years old. He left home, went on the cruise ships, traveled everywhere. He was in the kitchen, cleaning pots, pans, learning from the bottom up. He bought his first diner when he was 17 years old. And I'm sure he's had a lot of hard moments and hard lessons. Like I've even had to learn hard lessons even with his guidance. But for me, I just think that he was a bit of a people pleaser, which is great for this business. And he loved making other people happy. He loved making other people happy. It would light him up. So I think he just learned over the years. Like he always talked like he knew a lot about psychology and the way people act and stuff like that. And I don't know if he never really explained to me like I read books or I had to learn the hard way, or maybe he had a guru somewhere. But so that much I don't know, because I was always like, you know, especially now when I've read books and I've went to school and I've seen so many speakers talking about this, he nailed everything right on the head. He knew exactly what he was talking about. And now I wish I didn't spend so much time arguing with him when I was younger, because it was really a waste. He was wrong. I mean, I was wrong. So, but it is interesting to me that I don't know that he had someone that taught him. He self-taught himself through experience and through speaking to other people, and probably he had a good sense of how other people felt, and like reading people's emotions and stuff. So like he was always really good at when someone approached him, he knew. And like even I go into restaurants now, random restaurants. I go with my girlfriend Ginger, and they're like, oh my God, I loved your father. He used to come in here all the time and talk to me after you guys closed. He would come in here, he'd help me if I had a problem. He would call Coca-Cola for me if I had an issue. He would, and I'm like, damn, Daddy. I'm like, you were busy. I'm like, working even after you were working, you know? So I love hearing those stories, and I hear them really often, and people just loved him. And, you know, I just like, and I try to take the lessons, you know, I don't do everything the same as he did, but as far as hospitality, I don't deviate, because I have not found one point that he was wrong yet. So we're just going to keep, if it ain't broke, I'm not fixing it. So, but yeah, I think he just learned on his own, because I don't know where else like he could have learned it from. So it's even more impressive to me that he just knew. Thank you.
That was incredible.
Thank you.
I have never been to Johnny D's, and I'm a vigorous, but I added it to the top of my restaurant list.
Yeah, I'll be waiting for you.
So you have built many restaurants, and I'm curious, how did you know when it was time to step out and build something on your own rather than keeping the restaurant that you'd already had?
Well, I just wanted to try something new. I just wanted to see if I could, you know, because when we were opening these restaurants, he was there with me. And opening a restaurant, I don't know if anyone here has been involved with opening a restaurant, but it is, I don't even know what the word, exhausting. Just to say, I want to say a different word, but I don't think it's appropriate. So, you know, so I just felt like I wanted to see if I could take everything I learned, even from the beginning up, even from building a restaurant, understanding how a kitchen works, understanding the flow of the serving experience. So for me, I just wanted to, I was just time to kind of see, could I take what I have learned and build something new with it? I don't know if there was like a moment, you know, moment in time, but I was just ready just to kind of step out of Johnny D's, kind of add something else to my portfolio and see how it went and kind of see what I could learn from that process. Because I was always under the shell of my dad. He always somehow made sure, and if something went wrong, he would take care of it. So I was put in a position that I had to take on that role and see. And it was a great learning process for me. I would do things maybe differently next time. Some things I would do the same. So it just kind of depends on what the venture would be. But for me, it was a really good learning experience, and I'm really glad I did it. And I feel like it did teach me even more so that what I knew about hospitality, to keep that going. And it could go across whether you're breakfast, whether you're dinner, whatever you're doing. It still matters how you make people feel, and it still matters to be involved in your community. So for me, it was a great learning curve and a great learning experience where some of the stuff, it kind of doubled down of you're doing this right, and some stuff was like, oh my God, this is terrible, and I need to figure out how to fix it, and I don't have anyone to turn to, I need to figure it out. So it was great, and I'm really glad I did it, and I hope to possibly do something else in the future as well, because you never know what I'm going to learn there. So thank you. We got a question. Oh, we got one over there. Oh, hey.
Me?
Yeah?
What's the hardest part of your business and how do you get through it?
That's a wonderful question. So it kind of touches back to what I said earlier, where you don't get to show up based on your mood. I have a lot that goes on in my life every day between 3 restaurants, my son, and a bunch of other things. And some days I'm just not in a good mood. And I've had to learn that before I walk into the restaurant, whatever I'm not in a good mood about needs to stay out in the parking lot. And I take a deep breath, I open the door, and I come in shiny faces, smiling faces. Because one of my employees recently said to me, and he had the courage to say it, he says, "Chef, when you come in a bad mood, it really affects the rest of us. We don't know if it's our fault. We don't know if it's something else. We don't know if we're going to get in trouble for something. We don't know if you're going to take something personal." And I thought a lot about that moment when he said that to me, because no one has ever said that to me before. No one dared said that to me before. And I said, oh, shoot. So I said to him, I said, you know what, Jason? I said, I'm really happy you said this to me today, because I have never really thought about that. You know, so now, some days I am not in the mood to be there. I'd rather be home in a dark closet somewhere, you know, and I take a deep breath outside, I open the door, and I pretend like nothing is wrong, and I go through, I say hello to everyone just like normal, and I feel like that is very important, and literally, like, you don't get to show up based on your mood. You show up based on your standards, because if one of them is in the bad mood, you know, it's the same thing. It spreads like wildfire within the staff. So we have learned, all of us together, and it starts at the top. I have to model the behavior if I expect my staff to come in when they're having trouble at home and working at their top of their game. So I've had to look within myself a lot, and that was like, I guess I really didn't realize how much it affects them until Jason said something to me about it. So I'm really thankful that he did, and it sticks with me every day. Every day I'm not in a good mood, I think, okay, it doesn't matter. pretend. So it is important, especially when you're running a team. Good.
You literally just answered the question I was going to ask. I was going to ask you, how do you deal with, all the restaurants and the crew, the workers and everything. I was going to ask you, do you keep a baseball bat on hand? Literally, I was going to ask you, how do you deal, with all the stress of, you literally just answered it for me. Because I know it has to be stressful, you're doing the workers and you have to deal with the customers and everything.
Mm-hmm.
How do you deal with all of that and keep sane? Because I'm like, does she keep a baseball?
I exercise a lot. I'm gonna be honest. I do exercise a lot. It really helps me. I also have, there's days that I don't get anything accomplished. I'm like a vegetable. Me going into the restaurant and helping my staff is like, for me, it's like I don't want to say bare minimum because it's not like it's easy to do, but, because I do back of the house, behind the scene things, admin things, interviews, podcasts, speaking events, all different things. I volunteer sometimes to do different events. I was just serving waffles at the Hype Girl event last week. So, but for me, exercise for me has been one of those things that really has helped me. It helps me release any stress, and I have a whole routine before I go to bed. It's ridiculous. Sometimes my girlfriend's looking at me like I'm crazy, but it's just kind of to release the stress every day because I don't know what's waiting for me the next day. So I don't want to carry each day's stress into the next because it just builds up, and then we feel tight, we feel stressed, we have a headache or our neck hurts, pounding when you go see a massage therapist. So for me, that's been wonderful, and because I have ADHD, it can really. It's staying consistent with that was difficult, and I made myself do it every day. I worked out a little bit, even if I didn't do a whole workout, a little bit every day, just to kind of stay consistent in my brain. Because I don't know about some of you, but I used to say I'll go to the gym tomorrow, and tomorrow never came. I don't know where it went, but it did not come. So I had to stop that. So now I think I'm on my 3.5 years of consistent exercise regime, and that really, really does help me. I know maybe it sounds a little cliche or whatever, but it does help me. And I try to do other hobbies. I'm learning how to play the piano. That really helps me on a stressful day. If I just go put my headphones in, play the piano for an hour or two, I'd barely remember what was bothering me. I started doing pottery. Ginger and I started doing pottery, and that really is fun every week, every Tuesday, to see what we can create. So little things like that. I think having hobbies outside of work, I feel like will help you do a better job at work too. Because you can't just work every day. Humans were not built to work every day. They were meant to enjoy life, have relationships, and then, work too, because we have to have money to do things. So, but yeah, thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
When you were deciding to grow your business and go from 1 to 2, 3, what was the biggest challenge you had implementing to know that you were doing it at the right time? So
we had the Myrtle Beach store. We opened 2014, and we went to North Myrtle in 2018. So we had 4 years. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I was terrified. I told my dad, I'm like, you're crazy. I was like, we're all here in this one restaurant, and this is how we do this. Like, how are we supposed to split up? So he was insistent we need more locations. We have a big family. We can't all be, and if anyone's been to the Myrtle Beach store, it's not big. So the whole family being in there can be rough. So, it was difficult, and I was very nervous because people loved coming to Johnny D's because it was consistent. And just because you have 2 locations, it's not an excuse to be less consistent. So I think where we really shined was that I was able to stay at my store, the Myrtle Beach store. I don't want to say my store, but Myrtle Beach store. He went up to North Myrtle, and he stayed there he was there every single day for 4 years, making sure that it was consistent, everything was going strong, and kind of built the team up, built the crew. I would go up there and help. I would go up there and make sure they were doing the systems correct in the kitchen. So where he ran that one, I ran the Myrtle Beach store, and we were able to stay consistent with the 2 of them. Then he decided he wanted to go down to Surfside, and I was like, Daddy, you're insane. So, but Surfside, we had such a huge customer base that used to drive up from Surfside to come to Myrtle Beach. And I was also nervous. I was like, what if our customers leave Myrtle Beach and they go down to Surfside and we lose the customers here? And he was like, he calls me Dimitra, was my Greek. He says, Dimitra, be quiet. It's not a problem. Don't worry. So then he ended up going down to Surfside because North Myrtle Beach was kind of set up already. My sister kind of started working there. She kind of upheld all the systems and everything like that to keep it as consistent as possible. And then he went down to Surfside to build that team up. And unfortunately, he only made it about 1.5 years down there before he got sick. So now my family is spread out between the 3 locations, and we work together to keep everything consistently. I go through each restaurant, make sure the kitchen is not, make sure the food, everything like that. And I hear a lot of guest feedback out at these events. That's why I love doing these events too, because people are like, I go to your Surfside store, I go to your North Myrtle Beach, I go to Myrtle Beach. We go to whichever one's closest, they're all the same. We love that. We don't have to worry about one being better than the other. But it takes hard work, and it takes training, and it takes working with your team and not working at your team. We all of us, we will do everything in the restaurant, from cooking to serving. I'll bust tables if I need to, and that way no one feels that like their job is not being appreciated or understand how hard it is, because every position in the restaurant is difficult, from the dishwasher to the hostess. They all serve a particular position, and they all need to feel respected, and that way when you need to step out to go to one of the other places, you feel confident that the staff, we have a mutual respect, and they're going to do what they need to do. But I remember being like, Daddy, you're crazy. And then when we opened Surfside, we opened in January. There was a line out the door for 6 weeks in January. And I was like, our reputation really showed when we opened Surfside. So in one aspect, I thought he was crazy. In the other aspect, I was like, this is awesome. So yeah, but thank you. That was a good question. It does take a lot of work, and I feel like that's usually when people open multiple locations, the consistency kind of starts to waver, and that's why I think we probably, I don't know if we'd be crazy to open up number 4, but we're really happy with the 3 we have because we work really hard to keep them consistent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have a speaker that isn't in our industry and understands it.
Appreciate that.
Especially the hospitality. The hospitality between us is just as important as, when you bring people to the restaurant. I came in here grumpy. I have a couple of clients, and I feel better now.
Good, I'm glad. Awesome. Thank you.
No question.
Okay.
Who else? We've got some raving fans books that we've been passing out, so I think we've got like 3 or 4 left. Looks like 3. So maybe if we have 3 questions, or if anyone has any takeaways, right, relating it back to what we'll do up here.
I'll give a few takeaways. Oh, we got one?
I just wanted to say thank you very much for being here and shedding some great information. And I also wanted to thank you for having your restaurant be autism friendly.
Thank you.
My grandson is autistic, and I know that sometimes his parents struggle with, determining where to go for dinner if they want to take the kids out. And so now we've been to, they haven't been, but my husband and I have been to your restaurant here in North Myrtle Beach. Love it, got it from a referral. And we will definitely be back with the children.
I'm glad, thank you.
Thank you.
I met I met a woman the other day at the women's event that says she has 3 kids with autism, and she loves coming to North Myrtle Beach store. She says one of them eats like bread and mayo, the other one eats french fries, and the other one eats pancakes. And she's like, I just love coming there. We don't have to worry about anything. We get seated right away. And she was just going on, and it made my heart so happy to hear a story like that, because I'm not in North Myrtle Beach. To his point over there, I'm not in North Myrtle Beach, and I still get to hear that, and it made me really happy. So I hope you do come in soon.
Is it my turn? Yep.
Oh,
hey,
yes.
I don't know if you recall, we did a beer dinner together.
Oh, yeah!
At a restaurant a number of years ago. And down at Island Grill and Surfside. And we did about 25 beer dinners over the years, bringing in chefs for each one. And I just want to say, by far, you're the most organized, polite, and attentive.
Thank you.
That we use. So clearly your systems carry over, and it was one of my favorite experiences to sit down, talk about how beers would pair with the foods, and go through the whole process. So just so everyone knows, you're not up here just spitting it, you really do live it.
Thank
So
you.
Thank you for speaking this morning.
Thank you. You know, I just want to say, I show off those pictures from that beer dinner any chance that I get. I love them. I have used it because I love the food that I made there. I learned new things because it was for like around St. Patrick's Day, I think. But I wanted to be able to create food that kind of, you know, so I did a lot of research and I made some really good mashed potatoes. They're called cannon mashed potatoes. I had cabbage and bacon in them. The whole dinner blew my socks off. I was so happy. So thank you for saying that because I still talk about that dinner today.